Hey, it's time. Time to drink more coffee, which is always fun, because coffee is the best. Oh, all right. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is February. No, try it again. Wednesday, February 19th, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I thought recently about changing. Good morning, Stacy. About changing the kind of the opening tagline to "First Cup, the only show without pants." But I thought that might sound a little suggestive in a way that is not intended. So I share it with you now, that one time. Oh, what's going on? So had two had two interviews yesterday. They went well. I've got another one today. Man. And what else happened yesterday? Did some Kempo. Did some email. I was busy from like as soon as first cup was done, I was at my desk and I did not stop until, well, I went to the gym. So I put in a solid probably 6, 7 hours, like right in a row. It was productive. It was good. I can hear in my own voice that I don't know if I believe myself. So, yeah, today's more of the same. It's just a whirlwind of martial arts and work and interviews and clients and just all of it. There's just a lot going on there. What else to say? What else to say about today? Coaching some CrossFit, a new client in the afternoon. That's about it. I got a bunch of email I got to dig into. So if any of you out there watching, I owe you email. I'm sorry. I'll try to get to you today. There's getting to be a lot of email. What else to say? I don't think there's anything else to say. Let's do the question thing. I'm going to try to be less rambly. There we go. When I first started the show, I felt it had to hold some certain time frame. The goal was 10 to 15 minutes, and we are almost always over 15 minutes. And I don't remember the last time we didn't go 10 minutes. So instead of trying to make this opening monologue or whatever a certain length of time, if I'm being repetitive or just don't have exciting things to say, I'm just going to move on from it. All right, so here's a comment in reference to yesterday's final quote, which I said was a little intense, which I will read again. Don't be buffaloed by experts and elites. Experts often possess more data than judgment. Elites can become so inbred that they produce hemophiliacs who bleed to death as soon as they are nicked by the real world. That was from Colin Powell. And Frank wrote in about that. The last quote you read is from page 102 of My American Journey by Colin Powell. Many years ago, he served as an officer in the Vietnam War. He said this quote in reference to the experiences he had with intelligence officials and a cocky pilot. The intelligence officials spent a lot of time doing regression analysis to determine when mortar attacks were more likely. Mr. Powell had just been taken off of field duty due to being wounded by a booby trap. The interesting thing is that Mr. Powell knew any grunt out in the field could have told this intelligence official what the conclusion from all that math would be. Mortar attacks happened more frequently at night. As for the cocky pilot, he resented that a non-aviator was in charge of his airfield. So he took Mr. Powell up for a wild ride in one of the aircraft. During the flight, Mr. Powell noticed some landmarks that didn't seem right. He asked the pilot, "You know where we are?" The pilot confidently announced, "A little north of Quang Tri." Mr. Powell's response, "You damn fool. Turn this thing south and get us out of here. We're over North Vietnam." Colin Powell served while I was, young enough that I didn't really pay much attention, but he did strike me as an intelligent and an intelligent man with a fair amount of integrity. New quotes. 3 quotes today from Snoop Dogg. "There'll be ups and downs, smiles and frowns." And that's life, right? I've seen Snoop in concert twice. Most recently, last year. My brother and I went and saw Snoop and Ice-T. They came to New Hampshire, and it was a great show. It was just two really, really good performers. I'd never seen Ice-T in concert, but grew up with his music. Same with Snoop, and it was a lot of fun. "The best advice I ever got is to be yourself. Stay true to who you are and what you stand for, and you'll go far in life." Here I am now at 40, and I'm finally appreciating the value of that advice. I used to think, and on some levels I think I still do, that you have to act a certain way for people to like you or connect with you. What I more consciously have found, what I am trying to live, is this realization that people can tell when you're being disingenuous. When you aren't being authentic to who you are and what's important to you and how you live your life, other people just don't want to be around that. They can feel it on some level. So to be you, to do the things that are important to you, and live your life your way, does a couple things. First, it gives the others around you the freedom to do the same, which is really important. I would say the majority of people today are not living the life that they want to. I don't mean that they don't have the house or the car or the job that they want, but they are compromising themselves on a really fundamental level. The more you are open about who you are and how you are, the more you give permission for them to do the same. And I know I said I had 2 things there, and I've lost my train of thought. I think the second thing was just, and if you do that, you will also be happier. You will also achieve more of what you want. It's just better. It's better to be real than to be fake. Let's put it out there directly. Let's be blunt about it. Stay true to who you are and what you stand for, and you'll go far in life. And I think he's an interesting example. When Snoop first started transitioning from just kind of musician to more popular figure, what was he known for? Smoking a lot of weed. He's still known by most people for smoking a lot of weed. And in the mid-90s, that was a very unpopular thing to do. I mean, it's been legalized or decriminalized in a lot of states now. The attitudes have changed, but that was 20 years ago. He didn't pretend he was something else. It's who he is. And if we keep looking, we can find plenty of other examples of people doing something unpopular and being respected for it. That's why I'm so successful, because peace is my main thing. It's not about money. It's about making sure everybody is having a good time and loving and living and enjoying life. If you focus on money, you don't tend to get money. And in the cases that you do, it doesn't tend to come with a lot of happiness. But if you focus on other things, if you focus on treating people right, if you focus on the last quote, living authentically, if you focus on, if it's a business you've started, having a mission and achieving that mission, the money tends to come as a consequence. We're in a pretty money-focused society. Of course, you need money. You need a certain standard of money. Otherwise, it's hard to live, right? Paying bills and not being able to pay all of them kind of sucks. But money should not be the goal. Money's a tool. So in this case, we have Snoop saying he focuses on peace and making sure everyone has a good time. If he focused on, let's look at the music industry. Let's say he focused on just on money. He might put out a bunch of short albums with poor music, maybe one or two decent songs, and the rest would be pretty low budget, low quality. And you go to a concert and it's really expensive and really short and really boring, and there's no energy in it. I've bought albums like that. I've been to shows like that. And you know what? I don't go back. You can get short-term money that way. You don't get long-term money that way. But on the other hand, as a musician, if he focuses on putting out really high-quality music and over-delivering in value, people are more likely to buy it without even having heard it. If he makes sure that everybody at the show has a great experience, people are going to come around more and more often, and he can justify charging more money for tickets. Let's extend this out into a martial arts school. I've said this before. If you focus on the students having fun, they will learn something. Giving them a great experience, making sure that you're, at a 10 out of 10, every time you teach. People learn, they enjoy themselves, and they want to come back. And ultimately, that means you can continually increase your rates. Because if you're delivering the best caliber of service, people will pay for that. There's this funny thing in human psychology when it comes to products or services and money, that the more expensive something is, the more people assume it's good. You want a great example? Look at Mercedes or BMW in this country. They're luxury vehicles, and there's absolutely nothing that justifies their high price other than they're foreign, they're exotic. If you look at the reliability standards, you can always find something that is comparable, not with the nameplate on it, that costs less. But they sell plenty of cars. Plenty of people covet those cars because they hold a position. There's there's a perception of what they offer. And we can do the same thing. I sum it up as under promise, over deliver. Someone comes into a martial arts class, if you are interviewing them or their parents or whatever, you're having a conversation about potentially someone joining the class, you don't tell them, I'm the best martial arts teacher. I'm going to make sure everybody has a great time and none of my students ever leave, and it's a great experience and you won't find it anywhere else. It sounds arrogant, but you can still do those things. You show them. People don't want to hear things anymore. They want to see them. That's why I'm so successful, because peace is my main thing. It's not about money. It's about making sure everybody's having a good time and loving and living and enjoying life. So if we tweak that for a martial arts class, that's why I'm so successful, because training is my main thing. It's not about money. It's about making sure everybody's having a good time and staying safe and learning and enjoying class. Right? I mean, that right there, if that was your mantra, if that was your mission statement for your class, I think you'd do, and you lived it, I think you'd go pretty far. Hang tight, I've got homework for you in just a moment. Don't forget, we do this show every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. Catch it later in audio form or at firstcupwithjeremy.com. If you want to ask a question, please ask questions. I love having questions to answer. Makes the time go much nicer. Drop it below or email me, jeremy@whistlekick.com. Now, if you want to support what we're doing at Whistlekick, because we got a lot going on, and we're trying to bring you as much awesome content as we can, a couple things you can do. You can make a purchase at whistlekick.com. Use the code FIRSTCUP15, or support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/whistlekick, and there are opportunities for you to get free stuff, free content, free books. So check that out. Now, your homework. I'd like you to explore this idea of whether money is first or not. What's driving you in life? If your focus is money, what's coming in second, third, and fourth? How can you readjust priorities so that money becomes the consequence of your goals, of your driving force, and not the thing that you're trying to do, not the priority? If you've never lived in this way, I want you to take a look. I don't want you to just trust me. I want you to take a look at the people who are most successful in this world, people who make the most money. You won't find a single one that I'm aware of who simply tried to make money. They all had a purpose. And so I want you to take a look at your purpose, your motivation, driving force, whatever you call it, and come up with some ways that you can lean into that a little bit and see if that puts a little more money in your pocket. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.